The story of the Kentucky Derby breed of horse is one that is deeply interwoven with the larger history of America itself, a narrative of determination, prestige, tradition, and the blending of bloodlines across continents to produce some of the most magnificent and enduring animals the world has ever known. At the heart of the Kentucky Derby is the Thoroughbred, a breed of horse that did not originate in the United States, but became one of the clearest reflections of American ambition, identity, and passion for excellence. The history of these horses is not just about speed, but about lineage, culture, and the ways in which humans and animals have shaped each other's destinies in a shared pursuit of greatness. The origins of the Kentucky Derby breed, the Thoroughbred, begins centuries before the first race was ever held at Churchill Downs in 1875. The Thoroughbred as a distinct breed traces its lineage back to 17th and 18th century England, when three foundation stallions, the Darley Arabian, the Byerly Turk, and the Godolphin Arabian, were bred with native English Mares. This union created horses of extraordinary stamina, speed, and spirit, traits that were meticulously cultivated across generations. These horses quickly became the pinnacle of racing stock in England, and as colonial America expanded and grew, wealthy settlers and enthusiasts brought thoroughbreds across the Atlantic. By the early 1700s, thoroughbred horses had made their way into Virginia and Maryland, where horse racing began to gain popularity among the upper classes. From there, the history of thoroughbreds in America is inseparable from the history of the South, particularly Kentucky. Kentucky's fertile limestone-rich soil was found to be uniquely suited for raising strong, healthy horses. The land produced rich grass and water that gave foals dense bone structure, resilience, and strength, making Kentucky a natural hub for horse breeding. By the early 19th century, Kentucky had already begun to establish itself as the horse capital of the United States, with farms dedicated to producing and training horses that could rival those bred in Europe. It was only a matter of time before a great race would emerge that would serve as the proving ground for the finest thoroughbreds in the land. The Kentucky Derby was founded by Colonel Meriwether Lewis Clark, Jr., the grandson of the famed explorer William Clark of the Lewis and Clark expedition. After traveling through Europe and attending the Epsom Derby in England, Clark became inspired to create an American counterpart that would elevate the reputation of horse racing in the United States. In 1875, with support from the Louisville Jockey Club and a vision for a world-class race, Churchill Downs opened and hosted the first Kentucky Derby. From the very beginning, the race was run exclusively by thoroughbreds, the breed that had already established its dominance on the racetrack. The first winner of the Derby was Aristides, a chestnut colt who set the precedent for what the race would come to represent. Not just speed, but breeding excellence, training skill, and the ability to rise to the occasion under immense pressure. What makes the Thoroughbred the definitive Kentucky Derby breed lies in the unique combination of characteristics that centuries of selective breeding have instilled. They are lean yet muscular, with deep chests that allow for greater lung capacity, long legs for stride efficiency, and a spirited but trainable temperament. They are capable of both explosive acceleration and sustained speed, qualities essential for the mile-and-a-quarter distance of the Kentucky Derby. Moreover, the breed's lineage is meticulously recorded in stud books, with breeders striving to balance bloodlines in pursuit of the perfect horse. This obsession with pedigree has turned the Kentucky Derby into more than a race. It is a showcase of equine aristocracy, a living demonstration of centuries of human dedication to the art and science of breeding. As the Kentucky Derby gained prestige in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, so too did the reputation of American thoroughbreds. Farms like Calumet, Claiborne, and Spendthrift became legendary for producing Derby champions and breeding stock that would influence the sport for generations. Horses like Sir Barton, the first Triple Crown winner in 1919, and Gallant Fox, who won the Triple Crown in 1930, etched their names into the history books. The Kentucky Derby became the jewel of American racing, and the Thoroughbred became its undisputed king. Every spring, the best horses in the country, bred for this very moment, converge on Churchill Downs to compete for a place in history. One of the defining moments in the history of the Kentucky Derby breed came in 1973 with the triumph of Secretariat. Bred in Virginia, Secretariat was the product of a carefully managed lineage that traced back to the great sires of the past, but what he accomplished redefined what people believed a horse could do. At the Kentucky Derby, Secretariat not only won but shattered records, completing the race in 1:59 2/5, a record that still stands today. His performance was so dominant that it seemed almost mythical, a reminder of why the Thoroughbred had become the very embodiment of racing perfection. Secretariat's success elevated the prestige of American breeding programs and made the Kentucky Derby synonymous with excellence in the equine world. Another extraordinary moment in the Derby's history came in 2009 with the victory of Mind That Bird, a gelding bred in New Mexico, who entered the race as a 50-1 underdog. While Thoroughbred breeding emphasizes elite lineages, the story of Mind That Bird reminded the world that spirit, determination, and heart can sometimes transcend pedigree. From Secretariat's legendary speed to Mind That Bird's improbable triumph, the Kentucky Derby has consistently revealed the essence of the Thoroughbred: unpredictability, brilliance, and an indomitable will to run. The Kentucky Derby breed has also been shaped by broader cultural and economic forces. The economics of breeding have created a multi-billion-dollar industry centered in Kentucky, where stallions are valued at astronomical figures for their ability to pass on desirable traits. The breeding industry is not merely about producing racehorses. It is about perpetuating bloodlines, ensuring that the qualities of champions are preserved and enhanced for future generations. Every foal born on a Kentucky farm represents both the culmination of centuries of history and the hope for future glory. For many breeders, producing a Derby winner is the ultimate achievement, a legacy that extends far beyond any one race. Yet the history of the Kentucky Derby breed is not without its controversies and challenges. Concerns about overbreeding, health issues, and the physical toll on horses have led to debates about the ethics of the industry. Questions about the balance between speed and soundness and the tendency to prioritize short-term racing success over long-term durability have shaped breeding practices in modern times. Despite these challenges, the enduring allure of the Thoroughbred and its connection to the Kentucky Derby has never faded. The breed continues to inspire admiration, passion, and devotion among fans, breeders, and horsemen alike. The Kentucky Derby itself has grown into more than just a horse race. It is a cultural event, often referred to as the most exciting 2 minutes in sports. But at its core, it is still about the horse, about the Thoroughbred, and about the centuries of history that make this race what it is. Every year, when the horses step onto the track at Churchill Downs, they carry not only the hopes of their owners, trainers, and jockeys, but also the weight of history. Each Thoroughbred is a living link to the Arabian stallions of the past, the English breeders who crafted the bloodlines, and the American pioneers who built Kentucky into the heart of horse racing. In the end, the history of the Kentucky Derby breed of horse is not merely about animals running in a circle for glory or money. It is about the shared human desire to strive for perfection, to honor tradition, and to witness greatness. The Thoroughbred, with its beauty, courage, and speed, has become one of the greatest testaments to what humans and animals can achieve together. The Kentucky Derby stands as the ultimate celebration of this legacy, and the breed that defines it remains one of the most beloved in America and the world.